Good Sunday morning to you. I'm Meteorologist Ryan Hoke with today's edition of the Hokey video blog. Glad you're here with us on what's been a rainy overnight period, but now that we've seen a cold front move through, that's allowing much colder temperatures to move in. In fact, that temperature, it'll be dropping throughout the day. Could see a few residual showers, maybe a snowflake or two, but the air that we see tonight that gets us into the upper teens in places still will not hold a candle to how cold it's going to be getting later this week. You'll see that here in just a minute. We'll explain. But first, let's get to today's Hokey weather fact. And we're talking about mirages. That's something that is stereotypically thought of as a summer thing. Something that appears when it's hot and you're on that roadway driving along and you can kind of see a mirage there in the distance. Or maybe you're out in the hot desert, you can see one too. They happen in the winter. It's thanks to a temperature inversion when the air at the surface is colder than the air aloft, and that can force the light that's penetrating that area of air, that layer of air, to bend so that you get a mirage that looks like that you see there in the picture. Cold weather mirages, you see the object above the surface of where it's actually at, whereas with a summer mirage, a hot one, you see the image that you think below the actual object. So, now you know that from today's Hokey weather fact. Outside this morning, well, it's a little strange looking out there from Shepherdsville. We've got the clouds overhead, but a few breaks in them, just enough to get some sunlight through there. And look at those winds. You can see the flags at the very bottom right of this video here really whipping around in the wind there, and certainly we'll be seeing that as we go throughout this morning. The winds behind this cold front have been pretty powerful, but believe it or not, they're not as bad as what they were before. West wind at 18 miles per hour. We had a sustained wind at 24 as that front was just exiting the area. We had a gust of about 37 at the airport. My heavens. That cold front now, well off to our east. You can see it by this little band of showers that moved through here earlier this morning. They're pretty intense showers, carrying with them some gusty winds. Lexington could have gotten a 40-mile wind gust or two, but as we go throughout time here, we're just going to be seeing these little tiny light showers. Nothing heavy as we go throughout the rest of the day. You'll see a few of these showers trying to redevelop on the backside, maybe a snowflake or two over St. Louis. And now we will have a chance for a snowflake or two as we go throughout this afternoon. This cold air still moving on in from the west, and that'll take our temperatures down into the 30s by about, I'd say, 5, 6 o'clock this evening. So I don't think we're going to have any accumulation issues because most of the precip will be out of here by that time. Here's your hourly forecast. In fact, by 11 a.m. we're at 45 degrees, 3 o'clock 42. Now, the icons here do show a little bit of flurry activity trying to mix in with this at times as we go throughout the afternoon hours. And as we head into the evening, woo, look how low these temperatures get. 34 degrees, that's by 7 o'clock this evening, and we cruise even farther than that through the overnight hours. Let's show you that on Futurecast. A few of these isolated showers, maybe a snowflake or two as you see here mixing in through time. I think 4 o'clock will be our highest chance of these residual showers as we go throughout the day. After that time, they fade off, they move off to the east. In fact, we begin to see the clouds clear, so we'll have a partly cloudy night to start off with, and then I think we'll become mostly clear through at least some of your early Monday here. Temperatures, look at that, it's 26 degrees by 7:30. Futurecast may be running a little warm on this. I think these temperatures out here probably more so what will be happening here in the city with some upper teens, certainly possible, even right here in Metro Louisville. Now, we watch our next system coming through, and that's going to be Monday night into early Tuesday, and that's going to be one of these run-of-the-mill clippers. Comes in from Alberta, Canada, and it kind of swings, it pivots right on through the upper Ohio Valley, pretty much along the I-70 corridor in this case. So the accumulating snowfall happens along that I-70 corridor, along north basically. But in our northern counties, we may see a few snowflakes from this. Like I said yesterday, I'll put out my usual disclaimer. Clippers are really kind of crazy sometimes. It depends on how the setup goes, but sometimes they can throw us a curveball or two. But at this point, we expect any accumulating snow to be well north of our area. So, not expecting any problems there, but we are expecting problems, though, as we go throughout later this week with this cold air. I mean, this is dangerously cold, what's going to be coming in. This powerful Canadian high pressure is going to be moving into the plains and eventually into portions of Missouri. And as it does so, it's going to be very, very strong. We're talking pressure values that are exceptionally high for this time of year. Now, as we go throughout your Wednesday, high temperatures only in the teens. I've got 17 degrees for a high then. But with that cold air in place and the winds beginning to slacken, this is key, we will be seeing temperatures fall overnight into the single digits. You've probably heard about this for a few days now, but I've got single-digit lows here in the metro Louisville area. The outside areas may even get down to 0. Wind chill of 10 below 0. That could be Thursday morning. Now, it's conceivable, given the winds that we'll have on Wednesday, that we could have wind chills of 15 below 0 then. I think that it's going to be more prominent, though, as we go throughout your Thursday morning, because a lot of kids are going to be out there at the bus stop. That's why I wanted to focus on this time. I did that many a time when I was a kid. I'd be walking out to the bus, didn't have enough layers on, and it was really dangerous. Not a good thing to do. Make sure you're sending those kids out there with enough clothing. These are temperatures that we don't see normally around here. In fact, it usually takes a snow cover to get temperatures this low. We're not even going to have that. The caveat, though, is that we will have a snow cover just to our north, so that layer of air moving in will be moving over that snow cover, and that's what will help it stay cold. The wind speeds, they're going to be crucial, not only in determining the wind chill for Wednesday and the wind chill for Thursday, but during the morning, if those wind speeds stay up, then we could see temperatures not as cold as what some of the models are saying. Some of the models are now saying we could go down to 0 here in the city, maybe 1 below. That's pretty cold. At this point, I've gone 5 above 0 for our overnight low, because even though the winds, the latest data suggests the winds will be slackening up to around less than 2 miles per hour during the peak time of cooling, before and after that, though, we will have some winds. It'll be a very light breeze, but I think it might be just enough to keep the atmosphere from exhibiting the full cooling potential. When you've got that small breeze, it doesn't allow the atmosphere to what's called decouple as much. That's when the surface layer kind of pulls away from the surface of the Earth here, the surface atmosphere layer, and that allows things to really, really cool down. So we'll have to see how this goes. If you see our forecast suddenly just down to around 1 or 2 degrees, maybe even 0, that's why. It'll be because the winds are forecast not to be as strong before and after. But for now, I'm keeping us at 5 thanks to that small uncertainty with the winds at this time. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast where you'll see that 5-degree low temperature on Thursday morning with the wind chill in the morning at 10 below. It doesn't take much wind at all to put our wind chill down there. So even just a very light breeze is going to be triggering that with a 5-degree actual raw air temperature. 17 for Wednesday, 19 for Thursday, and it's crazy when we have to talk about 32 and 35 degrees being a warm-up. Man, are we talking some cold temperatures this week. Again, very rare to get without a snowpack, even though we've got one to our north. So this will be an interesting situation to observe as we go throughout time here this week. Of course, we'll be updating that forecast. And tonight, believe it or not, is the first night you'll see me on Wave 3 News at 6 and 11 o'clock. So I will see you back here in just a few hours on the television side of things, and I'll have another update on the web and on the air tonight as well. Thanks for watching. I'm Meteorologist Ryan Hoke. Enjoy your Sunday.